Kingdom Come Deliverance II is a gritty medieval RPG with big forests, crowded towns, and torchlit interiors. There's no native macOS version, but I found a couple of valid workarounds that I'll tell you about in the next few minutes. I'll start with the two best ways, and then I'll touch on the other options that still work pretty great. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the two methods that gave us best results. The first one is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Boosteroid is a great fit for this game because you can crank the visuals without worrying about the game's rather hefty requirements. On a solid connection, you can expect a sharp image and smooth performance that stays consistent even in busy towns and night scenes. Case in point, my 60 megabit Wi-Fi let me stream the game at 4K and 120 FPS, and there were only a couple of hiccups, which didn't affect my experience. When the internet wobbled for a moment, sword fights felt a little spongy, and fast camera turns picked up compression blur. But, as I said, that was mostly due to our internet, and we still consider Boosteroid to be one of the best ways to play Kingdom Come Deliverance II on a Mac. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. Crossover can run Kingdom Come Deliverance II, but it's the kind of game where your results depend on versions, settings, and a bit of patience. In testing, our M3 Macs with 36 gigs managed around 50 to 70 frames per second at 1080p and medium-high settings. You'll usually want the D3D Metal renderer, and you may lean on Metal FX to keep things feeling steady. A Pro or Max chip is the sensible baseline here, and while 16 gigs can work, 24 and up is safer. So overall, this is still a good method, but not as flawless as the cloud option. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. Now, a couple of much needed fixes. If the game launches to a black screen or hangs before the main menu, the most common workaround is to add a config text file to the game's installation folder and a launch option to tell the game to use it. If your controller feels delayed or just plain wrong, open Steam's controller settings for the game and enable Steam input, then restart. Kingdom Come Deliverance II can bog down most when you hit busy towns and torchlit interiors. Lower global illumination and volumetric effects, and keep shadows at high or medium instead of pushing higher. Keep textures on high so the world doesn't look smeary. The other methods are a variation of this theme. GeForce Now is the best cloud solution with all the bells and whistles, but at double the price of Boosteroid, it's just not worth it, except for a handful of games which can use the latest and greatest effects. Like Boosteroid, it's very easy to use. You just need to register, get a subscription, download its app, and start the game from it. XCloud is Microsoft's cloud solution, and it's by far the worst of the cloud solutions mentioned here, but it comes with the benefit of being free if you subscribe to Game Pass. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. Here's how I'd stack the options. Boosteroid is the easiest win if you want the game looking its best with minimal fuss, because the heavy lifting happens on their side and your Mac just streams the result. GeForce Now is the other premium cloud angle, and it's a strong pick when you care most about clean image quality and responsive controls, and when you don't mind the steeper price. Xbox Cloud Gaming is the convenience play. If you're already in the Xbox ecosystem, it can be the quickest way to jump in without buying a second copy, but it's also the most variable for sharpness and latency depending on region and demand. Crossover is for people who want local play, mods, and no internet tether, and who don't mind tuning settings and living with the occasional quirk. It works here, but it's still a demanding game, so a Pro or Max chip makes a big difference. Sikarugir is the DIY cousin of that idea. It can be viable, but with even more oddities, so it's usually not my first recommendation. Pick Boosteroid or GeForce Now for maximum quality and simplicity, Crossover for local flexibility, and XCloud for sheer convenience. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen, or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.